let us set the stage for this absolute nightmare of a storyline. Right now, the tension at Windermere is thick enough to cut with a knife. As we know, Ross Cullum is the mastermind who snatched up our beloved Liesl Obrecht, throwing her into captivity to keep her out of his wicked way. But the real twist of the knife? It was not Cullum who dragged Jocelyn Jacks down into that same miserable dungeon. No, that despicable act was carried out by none other than Cassius Faison. The fake Nathan West himself did the dirty work, throwing a terrified Jocelyn into a cell right alongside his own mother. The sheer audacity of Cassius to lock up a young woman just to appease a monster like Cullum tells you everything you need to know about how far gone he truly is. But here is where the upcoming episodes take a brilliant, unexpected turn. Being locked up together in that dreary, terrifying space has actually forced Liesl and Jocelyn to find common ground. I know, guys, it sounds crazy. These two women come from completely different worlds and have a history of being at odds, but there is nothing quite like the shared trauma of captivity to forge an unbreakable bond. Jocelyn is seeing a different side of Liesl, a vulnerable but fiercely protective woman who is just as much a victim in the scenario. And Liesl in turn is respecting Jocelyn's fiery spirit and refusal to back down. They are leaning on each other, sharing their fears, and quietly plotting a way out of this hellhole. This newfound alliance makes what happens next even more devastating. According to the leaked script, Cassius finally steps into the light and gives his mother the confession we have all been waiting for. He drops the act. He looks Liesl dead in the eye and admits that he is not her beloved, deceased son, Nathan West. He confesses that he is Cassius, the other son, the twin, who has been wearing his dead brother's face and living his life. Now, if you ask me, I expected Liesl to absolutely lose her mind right then and there. I expected her to tear him to shreds for desecrating Nathan's memory. But the writers are giving us a masterclass in complex grief. In a moment that will surely have us all reaching for the tissues, Liesl actually forgives him. Yes, you heard that right. Despite the horrific deception, Liesl looks at this broken, misguided man and sees her own flesh and blood. She has lost so much, and the maternal desperation to hold onto a living child overrides her fury. She forgives Cassius for the impersonation, offering him a sliver of grace in that dark dungeon. It is a beautiful, tragic moment of a mother's unconditional love. But do not get too comfortable, ladies, because that heartwarming reunion lasts for about 2 seconds before Cassius drops a second fatal bombshell. Cassius, perhaps thinking that his mother's forgiveness means she will understand his predicament, confesses to another horrific crime. He does not just admit to working with Cullum, he admits to what has happened to his sister, Britt Westbourne. As we know, Britt has been on the run with Rocco Falconeri, and her Huntington's disease has been rapidly deteriorating. Cassius was supposed to be sending her the life-saving medication she desperately needed, but in this leaked scene, a trembling, guilt-ridden Cassius reveals the horrifying truth to Liesl. He tells her that Britt is in critical condition, fighting for her life, because she has been poisoned. The details of this revelation are absolutely sickening. Cassius confesses that Ross Cullum, being the ruthless double agent that he is, intercepted the medication. Cullum swapped the life-saving pills with a lethal poison and completely tricked Cassius. But the worst part? Cassius still delivered them. He was the vessel for his own sister's demise. He tells a horrified Liesl that Britt has taken the poison medication and is currently facing imminent death. The sheer incompetence and cowardice of Cassius in this moment are staggering. He let a monster like Cullum use him to murder his own sister, and now he is standing in front of his mother, expecting, what, pity? The reaction from Liesl Obrecht is going to go down in daytime television history. The forgiveness she just offered him evaporates in an instant, replaced by a primal, volcanic maternal rage. This is her Britta, her beautiful, brilliant daughter, the child she has fought so hard to protect for her entire life. Hearing that Britt is lying somewhere, dying from a poisoned pill that her own brother helped deliver, completely shatters Liesl's psyche. She drops to her knees, weeping, but those tears quickly turn to pure, unadulterated fury. Liesl begs him. She pleads with Cassius in a way we have never seen the proud Dr. Obrecht plead before. She demands that he unlock the cell door. She begs him to let her go so she can find Britt, so she can use her medical expertise to somehow reverse the poison and save her daughter's life. It is a heart-wrenching plea from a mother who is staring down the barrel of losing yet another child. She tells Cassius that if he has any shred of humanity left, any ounce of love for his family, he will open that door and let her run to her daughter. And this, my friends, is where Cassius seals his own doom. Instead of doing the right thing, instead of finally standing up to Ross Cullum and saving his family, Cassius refuses. He shakes his head, steps back, and tells Liesl that he cannot let her go. He stammers out some pathetic excuse about having to follow Cullum's orders, about the grand operational plan they have in place, and how he cannot risk ruining everything by letting his mother escape. Even with his sister facing a painful, agonizing death, Cassius chooses his loyalty to a madman over the lives of his own blood. It is the ultimate betrayal, a line crossed that can never, ever be uncrossed. I have to tell you guys, the psychology of Cassius in this moment is both fascinating and pathetic. He is so desperate for validation, so terrified of Ross Cullum, that he has completely lost his soul. He thinks that by keeping Liesl locked up, he can somehow salvage his own miserable existence. He actually believes he can survive this, but he severely underestimates the wrath of a mother's scorn. When Liesl realizes that her son is going to let his sister die just to follow orders, something inside her snaps. The loving mother disappears, and the ruthless, dangerous Liesl Obrecht of old comes roaring back to the surface. With nothing left to lose and her daughter's life ticking away, Liesl attacks. The leaked script describes a brutal, desperate physical altercation. Liesl launches herself at Cassius with the ferocity of a cornered tiger. She does not care that he is her son anymore. In that moment, he is just an obstacle, standing between her and her dying daughter. She uses every ounce of her strength, fighting dirty, fighting with pure adrenaline and rage. She strikes him, screaming Britt's name, pouring all of her grief and terror into every single blow. It is a chaotic, violent scene that is going to leave viewers absolutely breathless. But Liesl is not fighting alone. Remember that unbreakable bond she formed with Jocelyn Jax? Well, Jocelyn is not about to sit back and watch this happen. Seeing her captor being attacked, and knowing that this is their one and only chance to escape Windermere, Jocelyn jumps right into the fray. The young, athletic Jocelyn teams up with the furious Liesl, creating a terrifying tag team assault on Cassius. They are two desperate women fighting for their freedom and for the people they love. Jocelyn tackles him from the side, disorienting him, while Liesl continues her relentless barrage. The sheer physical toll of this combined attack is overwhelming for Cassius. He is caught completely off guard by the ferocity of these two women. He tries to defend himself, tries to push them away, but he is no match for a mother's rage and a hostage's desperation. The script notes indicate that the struggle is incredibly violent, with Cassius being thrown against the cold stone walls of the dungeon, taking heavy, punishing hits. The women are not holding back, they are fighting for their very survival. Every punch, every shove is fueled by the agonizing knowledge that Cullum is out there and Britt is dying. In the midst of this brutal, chaotic struggle, Liesl and Jocelyn manage to overpower him. They strike a decisive, incapacitating blow that sends Cassius crashing to the floor of the Windermere dungeon. He is left battered, bruised, and gasping for air. Wasting absolutely no time, Liesl snatches the keys or the access card from his fallen body. She and Jocelyn fling the cell door open and make a desperate, frantic run for their lives, leaving Cassius bleeding and broken in the darkness. The escape is a massive victory for the women, a moment of triumph born out of absolute tragedy. But here is the massive spoiler that has the entire soap community buzzing. According to my most reliable insider leak, this brutal attack by Liesl and Jocelyn is not just a minor setback for Cassius. The injuries he sustains during this desperate struggle are severe. The heavy blows, the impact against the stone walls, the sheer trauma of the fight might just be the end of the line for him. The rumors are swirling that this attack will indirectly cause the death of Cassius Phazon. Yes, ladies, you heard me right. Liesl Obrecht, in her desperate attempt to save her daughter Britt, might have just murdered her surviving son. Think about the poetic, tragic irony of this storyline. Cassius came to Port Charles wearing his dead brother's face, manipulating everyone, tearing families apart, all while claiming he just wanted to belong. And in the end, his blind loyalty to a villain like Ross Cullum and his cowardly refusal to save his own sister leads to his demise at the hands of his own mother. It is a Shakespearean tragedy playing out right before our eyes. If Cassius truly dies on that cold dungeon floor, it will be a fitting, albeit gruesome, end to a character who brought nothing but pain and deception to the people who tried to love him. The ripple effects of this leaked script are going to be absolutely massive. What happens when Liesl and Jocelyn make it out of Windermere? Will Liesl make it to the Virgin Islands in time to save Brit from the poison? And how will Jocelyn process the fact that she helped Liesl beat a man to death, even if he was their captor? Carly is going to lose her mind when she finds out what her daughter had to do to survive. And let us not forget about poor little James West, who is waiting at the batting cages for a father figure who is never, ever going to show up. This upcoming sweeps week is guaranteed to be a ratings juggernaut. The writers are pulling absolutely no punches, delivering high-stakes drama, heartbreaking betrayals, and fatal consequences. I am on the edge of my seat just thinking about how the actors are going to perform these scenes. The raw emotion, the physical stunts, the devastating realization that Liesl has blood on her hands once again. It is exactly the kind of juicy, dramatic storytelling that keeps us tuning in decade after decade. So, I have to ask you, my wonderful viewers, what do you think about this massive leak? Do you think Liesl was justified in attacking Cassius to save Brit? Will you feel any sympathy for Cassius if he dies alone in that Windermere dungeon, or did he get exactly what he deserved for trusting Ross Cullum? Drop your thoughts, your theories, and your outrage in the comment section below, because I want to read every single one of them. Until next time, keep your eyes on the screen and your teacups full.